Hare Krishna, somebody can please lead the invocation prayers.
Can I try, Prabhu?
Go ahead. Speak.
Om Gyantimirantachya Gyananjana-Shalakaya Chakshur-urmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri-Guruve Namaha. Shri-Chaitanya Manopistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vande Ham Shri-Guru Shri-Yuttapad Kamalam Shri-Guru Vaishnavamasya Shri-Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सवधूतं परिजन्यसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपिसे गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते सप्तकान्त गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today we will first discuss the inquiries submitted by you all. There are quite a few inquiries, well, some left over from last class also. And then we will continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 29 onwards. We'll discuss the prayers of Bhismadev. And we will listen to these prayers from my Siksha Guru, His Grace Padmanaya Prabhu. You will realize that they are so beautiful prayers, and how His Grace Padmanaya Prabhu recites. It's very beautiful to listen to these prayers. Let me bring up the inquiries on screen. Question number 1. Krishna's real form is the two-handed Shyam Sundar form. If someone asks, who is not Krishna conscious, that all these deity forms, these Krishna murtis in the temple and everywhere, have different look. Krishna murtis do have a human look, but face is different than Krishna's photos and from other temples. So how to explain this difference? One word answer is variegatedness. NASA is not able to locate life on other places in the universe because NASA and the scientists think that water is essential for life. This is not correct. There are living beings on Sun planet. Their body is made out of fire. Hence, these living beings are able to live on Sun planet. Similarly, all planets across universes have different ways how they are built. Similarly, Krishna enjoys all the available variety. Hence, the one answer is variegatedness. The Archa Vigraha form has manifested to accept our services. Hence, he has unlimited forms because he is reciprocating in unlimited ways with the devotees. Now, look may be different. Still, all the Archavigra forms are identical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Question number 2. Kunti Maharani prays for her attraction to be constantly drawn to Krishna without being diverted to anyone else. In our case, why do people who hurt us occupy so much of our thought space, many times more than Krishna himself? Why does the subconscious mind give such pain givers so much importance? The answer is because one is at bodily level of consciousness, hence your attention is riveted to your body. Bhagavad Gita 6.7, Krishna has described 3 levels of dualities in the material world. Priyanka, can you please read Bhagavad Gita 6.7 translation?
Yes, Prabhuji, just a second. Text 7. For one who has conquered the mind, the supersoul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Hare Krishna.
So, Krishna has explained 3 levels of dualities in this 6.7 verse in this material world. Sita Usna means cold and heat. This is at bodily level. Then Sukha Dukkha, happiness, distress. This is at mental level. And Man, Apman, honor, dishonor. This is at the level of ego. And further, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 22 to 25, Krishna describes the characteristics of one who has transcended the dualities caused by the modes. Priyanka, read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, 22 to 25 translation.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Krishna.
Right? So, Krishna gives a laundry list of qualities. One of them was one who is steady in man, apman, means in honor and dishonor. Such a person has transcended the modes of material nature. So, as part of Nectar of Instruction discussion, almost all of you had also received the Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 5 class recording, describing that we are largely created out of ego and ignorance. Ego is also at ignorance. In Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, in the Kapila Siksha section, Lord Kapila also states the same point, that living entities are bound in the material world because of ego. So coming back to the question, that When someone dishonors you, your ego gets pumped up and you are riveted to the bodily level. Therefore, your attention is only to that thought that caused the dishonor to you. Does that answer the inquiry?
Prabhuji.
Question number 3. When we land in such a space, meaning the continuation of question number 2 is question number 3, that when we land in such a space, how to come out of it? Even Kunti Maharani, after being a pure devotee, has to pray that her attention should not get diverted. Is this what we need to do to pray? Pray that our attention and focus remain on him. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.29 says that a pure devotee does not render service unto the Lord for any ask. So yes, we should pray to Srimati Radharani and Krishna to always engage us in services. Now, asking for services is perfectly okay. It is that pure devotee does not ask for anything material. But asking for services, asking for darshan, asking for getting attached to Krishna, these are perfect to ask. When someone does something wrong to me, remember the karma discussion from Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, that the other person is just an instrument to manifest my own bad karma. So if at all I have to become angry, I should become angry on my own mind and senses, so that at least on a go-forward basis, I do not do any such bad karma, so that there is no bad reaction going forward. So just last week at batch 6 and 7, Bhagavad Gita class, we had this discussion on the karma topic. So if anybody is interested for the refresher, you can get the class recording just from last week of batch 6 and 7. Further, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17 and 18, is upcoming discussion that dharma in the form of a bull teaches us that we cannot ascertain what is the cause of my misery. From Kunti Maharani's prayers in Canto 1, Chapter 8, plus the upcoming discussion in Canto 1, Chapter 17 and 18, a discussion on misery, the learning is that actually my karma is much more bad and actually I should be punished much more. It is because of Krishna's mercy that I am getting only a tiny bit of reaction of my own bad karma. So basically, the point is that to come out of such state, you have to take shelter of scriptural teachings. In Canto 1, Arjuna teaches this exact same point, that when Krishna left earth and went back to Goloka Vrindavan, Arjuna was too much in misery, and Arjuna simply remembered the Bhagavad Gita teachings and got pacified. So we have to take shelter of Krishna. Shelter of Krishna is either you take shelter of Krishna directly or you take shelter of Krishna's words. It's identical. First thing you have to remember to come out of this thought process is that the other person is just an instrument to manifest my bad karma. So why are you focused on the other person? Focus on your mind and senses contamination. Does that answer the inquiry?
Prabhuji.
Thank you. Next question, number 4. What is the difference between relationships among souls in the material world versus spiritual world? The inquiry is from 1.8.42, last paragraph of the purport. Thank you for providing the reference. So I'll bring up on screen and we'll read that relations in the material world are created by Maya to keep us entangled in the material world. There are relations in spiritual world such as parents, siblings, spouse, friends. The difference is that all the relations in the spiritual world are eternal, whereas all the relations in the material world are temporary and they are just created by Maya for our entanglement. So I'll bring up on screen Srimad Bhagavatam 3.30.7, and Prerna will read from the screen the translation and the purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Translation. Although he is
Okay.
Although he is always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities with a hope which is never to be fulfilled in order to maintain his so called family and society. Purport. It is said that it is easier to maintain a great empire than to maintain a small family, especially in these days when the influence of Kali Yuga is so strong that everyone is harassed and full of anxieties because of accepting the false presentation of Maya's family. The family we maintain is created by Maya. It is the perverted reflection of the family in Krishna Loka. In Krishna Loka, there are also family, friends, society, father and mother. Everything is there, but they are eternal. Here we change bodies, our family relationships also change. Sometimes we are in a family of human beings, sometimes in a family of demigods, sometimes a family of cats, or sometimes a family of dogs. Family, society, and friendship are flickering, and so they are called asat. It is said that as long as we are attached to this asat, temporary, non existing society and family, we are always full of anxieties. The materialists do not know that the family, society, and friendship here in this material world are only shadows, and thus they become attached. Naturally, their hearts are always burning, but in spite of all inconvenience, they still work to maintain such false families because they have no information of the real family association with Krishna. Thank you.
Does that answer the inquiry? Super heavy purport. Mind purpose inquiry.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, based on this, I have one question. So, what factors influence different souls to come together as a family, be it human beings together, or be it any animal with human beings, or like what are the different factors that impact one
So we
karma?
we have discussed this in the karma discussion, and can get the karma discussion lecture from batch 6 and 7 of last week for a refresher. That only Krishna knows how karma works, and there are so many dimensions, and we only know very few dimensions of how karma works. So from what we know, we have our individual karma, and then we have a group karma. So based on that group karma is how we are born in a family and we have the friends and we have the colleagues, they are all based on group karma. So you can judge this very easily. Let's say you don't like a particular person, whoever it be, but that person within his family, everybody likes him. Why? Because in that family, that person has the group karma where everyone has similar thought process. So one word answer is the group karma determines which family we take birth, which friends, which colleagues, which country, or which city. All that is group karma. Fine, Prabhu.
Uh, okay, Prabhuji. So that means so any particular husband and wife also comes into that group karma.
You are correct.
Okay. Okay.
Nitya?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, how does it apply when souls come together in the spiritual world? There are definitions of relationships, or is the relationship only as servitor to God or in relation to God, not between
Yeah,
individual souls?
the verse that we read, 3.30.7, all that is described in more detail. That everyone in the spiritual world is simply focused on services. Yes, they are grouped together. I don't think the scriptures provide the detailed discussion as to how they are grouped together. It's basically understand that everyone has a rasa and everyone has a relationship with Krishna. So those in particular kind of rasa will get grouped together. But this direct answer to this, I don't have a verse to point to you. It's just that you understand the way in the material world our group are based on karma, and Nitya is bang to the point correct. Well, karma doesn't exist in spiritual world. So how are they grouped? So it's based on rasa. Nitya?
Thank you, Prabhu. That seems a very logical answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to understand that we are saying in spiritual world also there is a concept of family. That we are talking about again physical things, that it can be dogs, cats, or demigods. So why is this bodily concept thought of? Is soul a non-physical thing? It is non-physical, right? So why do we have to attach some kind of a figure or shape or body to it to understand it?
Soul is not non-physical. Soul has a body just like you and I have here in the material world. The difference is the soul's body is spiritual body. So soul has a body. Soul is very much tangible like we all are. So there's no difference in terms of how we look here and how we look in the spiritual world. It's just the difference is that in the spiritual world, everything is spiritual and everything is eternal. In the material world, everything is material and everything is temporary. Okay.
Ji Prabhuji, so when we say that soul leaves our body when we die, there is a physical disconnect between the two things?
So there is a soul, a separate entity in our body, and we cannot see it because it is little subtle. Subtle means it's very fine. Plus it is spiritual, therefore we cannot see it. So in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, there's a verse where Prabhupada explains this same point, almost verbatim what Pragya is asking, that we cannot see the soul. When a person leaves the body, the soul leaves the body, but we cannot see because the soul is subtle. But actually, soul has a physical body like all of us. It's just spiritual body. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Dipanshu?
Prabhuji, how can a soul have a physical body when the size of a soul is so small, like 1 by 10,000, the size of tip of the hair?
Yeah, this is also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't have a reference for this, but it explains that in the body, when the soul is placed, it is shrunk down to that size. When the soul regains its original Swarupa, soul has the size exactly like how you and I have the size of the body. That's how the soul grows. If the soul was in our body in its full size, in its full strength, then all that effulgence will be coming out from everybody's body because soul is very powerful. So just to reduce all that and put it in a small, and the Panch Prabhu correctly pointed out that soul size is 1/10,000 of the tip of a hair. It is just reduced in that size. Otherwise, the power of the soul is too much. Dipanshu Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, one more question, please.
Yep.
Prabhuji, the physical world relationships of soul, which we read that are by Maya, are these people disconnected in the spiritual world? We have some other mother, some other spouse, some other child there?
So, Vijay Prabhu asked the same question last time. Even in the material world, when we continue life after life, when one family is together in this life and next life you have a family, there is no continuation that the same family members will join together in the next life. It is possible they may, some may, but there is no such hard and fast rule that the same family will take birth in the next family, because everybody's cycle is different. It is next to impossible. And the example given is that just as you are standing on a river bank, on a flowing river bank, and small tree branches break and fall in the river. So branches come together, then they separate, then again some other branches come together. So in the material world, that's how the souls come together and separate and then again come together with some other souls. In the spiritual world, as I described a few minutes ago, that it's based on rasa, that how you are tagged together. There's no reference in scriptures that the souls here, say husband and wife or siblings, that they are cooperating together, that they will go and to the spiritual world to also be together. It is possible that they will serve together because you have similar rasa, but there's no reference for me to give you that. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Vimal Prabhu.
Prabhuji, so in the same contest, so our karma, the result of karma we get is in this life, or it move on to the next life. As you just said, we may not get the life, same soul in the next life. So what happened to our karmas? They stay here or they move on with our soul?
So we have discussed this in the same karma discussion, and you can also get the recording from last week of batch 6 and 7 on karma. So the way karma works, only Krishna knows. Meaning, the example is that if all of us do an exact same karma at the exact same time in the exact same quantity that has the exact same result, and this is hypothetical, that this is not possible to have the exact same karma and the results. But hypothetically, if it is true, one of us can get the karmic reaction in this life, second one can get it in next life, third one can get it 10 lives down, and on and on. Only Krishna knows when the karma manifests and which karma results to which reaction. Only Krishna knows, nobody else. So if our karma is not manifested in this life, then it sits in the big karma bucket. All of us have the big karma bucket sitting at the back of on our back. And at some point that will manifest unless you surrender to Krishna and Krishna takes away all your good and bad karma. Vimal Prabhu? Question number 5. Why it is said that a living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess? This comes from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.27. Thank you for the reference. That in the purport, the very first line has this statement that living entity is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. So I will give you references from scriptures and you read the references later on by yourself. Right now I will describe in essence of time. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.26 is on Akinchana Gocharam, that one who is materially exhausted can very easily take the name of Krishna with feelings. And in 1.8.27 is on Akinchana Vittaya, that such an Akinchana Gocharam person becomes the property of Krishna and Krishna takes care of this person. So living being finished as soon as there is nothing to possess means material existence is finished and the living being is fully engaged in devotional services. So write down these references. This point is there exactly in the references that I'm giving you. And Srila Prabhupada has referenced this and explained this in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 3, verses 17 and 23 as the Shuddha Sattva existence. I'll repeat the reference. Canto 4, Chapter 3, verses 17 and 23, where the Shuddha Sattva existence is described. And this same point, that why is this living being finished, that same point is described there. So later by yourself, please read 4.3.17 and 23 translation and purport. And it is sometimes detrimental for a person advancing in Krishna consciousness to possess material assets. As soon as one is fully Krishna conscious, it is to be understood that one is in his pure original constitutional position. This state of existence is called Shuddha Sattva, which means that it is transcendental to material qualities. Since the Shuddha Sattva existence is under the direct action of the internal potency, in the state, the activities of material consciousness stop. Example, when iron is put into fire, the red hot iron, although it is iron, that red hot iron acts like fire. And similarly, when copper is surcharged with electricity, its actions as copper stops. It acts as electricity. In Bhagavad Gita 14.26 confirms that anyone who engages in unadulterated devotional service to the Lord is at once elevated to the position of pure Brahman. So the question says, why is living being finished? Means the material existence is finished. Living being may still be in the material body, but he becomes spiritual and he is engaged in spiritual activities only. So the references I gave you, read, and I have summarized those, but you have details for those in the references. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you.
Nitya?
Prabhuji, just on the previous question I was going to ask about karma. So Lord reciprocates the amount relative to what his mercy on us is relative to how we approach him. So for a neophyte somewhere in the beginning of the stages, So our karma too will be proportionately reduced based on his mercy, right? So there's that connection. How much we connect to him, how much we get his mercy, how much our karma would be, the reactive karma would be.
So karma, I've described this, that Krishna picks up a scoop from your big bucket and places in a cup. That becomes your current life. So the reaction of that good and bad karma can be reduced if you are doing devotional services. That's the reciprocation you will have. That say you have a misery scheduled in as part of your destiny. By doing devotional services, you may just get a small cut on a finger, you put on a bandage and continue. So that's how the karmas is exhausted. Does not mean that karma or that incident that is destined, that incident does not go away. It is just minimized by doing devotional service, meaning the reaction is minimized. Nitya?
Prabhu, so thank you for the clarification. In one of the purposes, says God places his devotee, in tribulations or gives tribulations to devotees, but it is not of vicious nature. So that means as we are in this spiritual, in the devotional services path and we connect more with God, then those what was written in our destiny of really vicious something happening definitely becomes reduced.
Reaction is reduced. The destiny is not written off. The event is scheduled, is destined to happen. The reaction is minimized.
Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. So these were the inquiries from the previous to previous class, and now I will answer inquiries from the previous class. We obviously have a lot of inquiries, so let's do this quickly. So again, I have the sequence from question number 1 again. Our Lord's incarnation in the material world by his external energetic expansions. So I want someone to recite and read 1.3.28. Anybody? Ete cha amso kalo pumsa.
I can, Prabhu.
Go ahead. You have it on the screen as well. You can recite from the screen. Nitya, unmute.
Ete hamsa kalapumsa Krishnatu Bhagavan Swayam Indari Vyakulam Logam Rivayante Yuge Yuge.
Translation. Nitya, translation.
Yes, Prabhu. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either planetary positions or portions of the planetary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets wherever there is a disturbance created by the athlete. The Lord incarnates to protect the peace.
Yeah, next, I want you to look up Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit index and look up Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Somebody quickly look up on your Sanskrit index. What do you find? Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti.
9.10, Prabhu.
Yeah, very good. Everybody found? Anybody did
Yes,
not find?
Prabhu.
Okay, very good. Dhara, read 9.10 translation.
this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Right, so 1.3.28 we read that all incarnations are expansions of Krishna. Then 9.10 we read Bhagavad Gita that material nature is working under Krishna, and Dhara will continue to read from the screen. 3.21.32 translation and purport, faster pace please.
O great sage, I shall manifest my own plenary portion through your wife, Devotee, along with your 9 daughters, and I shall instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles or categories. Herein, the word Swamsha Kalaya indicates that the Lord would appear as the son of Devotee and Kardama Muni as Kapila Dev, the first propounder of the Sankhya philosophy, which is mentioned here as Tattva Samhita. The Lord foretold to Kardama Muni that he would appear in his incarnation Kapila Dev and would propagate the philosophy of Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy is very well known in the world as propagated by another Kapiladev, but that Sankhya philosophy is different from the Sankhya which was propounded by the Lord himself. There are 2 kinds of Sankhya philosophy. One is godless Sankhya philosophy and the other is godly Sankhya philosophy. The Sankhya philosophy propagated by Kapila Dev, son of Devahooty, is godly philosophy. There are different manifestations of the Lord. He is one, but he has become many. He divides himself into 2 different expansions, one called Kala and the other Vibhinnamsha. Ordinary living entities are called Vibhinnamsha expansion, and the unlimited expansion of Vishnu Tattva, such as Vaman, Govinda, Narayan, Pradyumna, Vasudev, and Ananta, are called Swamsha Kala. Swamsha refers to a direct expansion, and Kala denotes an expansion from the expansion of the original Lord. Baladev is an expansion of Krishna, and from Baladev, the next expansion is Shankarshan. Thus, Sankarshan is Kala, but Baladev is Swamsha. There is no difference, however, among them. This is very nicely explained in the Brahma Samhita 5.46. Deeparchir eva hi dashantaram abhyupetya. With 1 candle, one may light a second candle, with the second candle a third, and then a fourth. And in this way, one can light up thousands of candles, and no candle is inferior to another in distributing light. Every candle has the full candle power, but there is still the distinction that one candle is the first, another the second, another the third, and another the fourth. Similarly, there is no difference between the immediate expansion of the Lord and his secondary expansion. The Lord's names are considered in exactly the same way. Since the Lord is absolute, his name, his form, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, and his qualities all have the same potency. In the absolute world, the name Krishna is transcendental sound representation of the Lord. There is no difference in potency between his qualities, name, form, etc. If we chant the name of the Lord Hare Krishna, that has as much potency as the Lord himself. There is no difference in potency between the form of the Lord whom we worship and the form of the Lord in the temple. One should not think that one is worshipping a doll or statue of the Lord, even if others consider it to be a statue. Because there is no difference in potency, one gets the same result by worshipping the statue of the Lord or the Lord himself. This is the science of Krishna consciousness.
So basically, going back to the question that Are all Lord's incarnations under material energy? No, they are not. We just read everything that they are all under his direct expansions. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Prabhuji, what was the reference that I just read?
It's 3.21.32.
Thank you.
Question number 2. Why did Bhismadev think he might not be in a position to see the Lord again after quitting his material body, even though he was headed for Vaikuntha? Comes from 1.9.24 purport. So pure devotees are more focused on serving Krishna rather than focusing on darshan. Although there is nothing wrong in wanting darshan, still pure devotees focus on service. So Bhismadev had the amazing opportunity to leave the body in presence of the Lord personally being present right in front of Bhismadev. After leaving his body, Bhismadev became a direct servitor of the Parsarthi form of Krishna in the Vaikuntha planet, and he is even today the direct servitor of the Parsarthi form of Krishna in Vaikuntha planet. Still, as a pure devotee, he is showing humility that I may not see the Lord again. That's why he's just saying that I may not see the Lord again. Does that answer the inquiry? Question number 3. Please clarify. If a pure devotee can be contaminated by eating contaminated food, I'm not able to understand Bhishma getting contaminated by eating Duryodhana's food and not following religion perfectly. Then the same should happen to Vidura also. So I want everyone to answer this question of mine before I answer question number 3. Everybody visualize and step back about 5,000 years ago when Lord Shri Krishna was physically present on earth during the Mahabharata times and visible to all. So my question is, if you have to go to a place of pilgrimage, so you are in 5,000 years back where Krishna is physically present on earth and visible to all, and if you have to go to place of pilgrimage during this time when Krishna is visible and physically present on earth, where will you go for pilgrimage? Will you go to see the deity forms of Krishna in any temple or even in holy dhams? Or will you go to offer obeisances directly to Krishna and take darshan, even if, say, you have to offer obeisances from a distance? Everybody, I want everyone to answer this question.
And option.
What is, repeat, I don't know what your option is, mind Prabhu.
So to physically go to Krishna and offer obeisances even from a distance.
Okay, rest of you, quickly.
Yes, Prabhu, directly to Lord Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, directly.
We'll go to Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay.
But Prabhuji, I have one more question.
Mind
But
Prabhu, hold on.
even if Krishna is
Mind
present,
Prabhu, hold on.
sorry.
Rest of you, please answer first.
Yes, we'll have to go directly.
Okay.
Directly go to Krishna.
Okay.
Directly, Prabhuji.
Okay. Do I have a unanimous answer?
Directly go to Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Vimal Prabhu. Vimal Prabhu. We cannot hear you, Vimal Prabhu. Anybody left to answer?
We will directly go to Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll read right now. So the situation is the verse that I'll bring up on screen. The situation is that Duryodhan tried to arrest Krishna when Krishna came as Shanti Dut in Dhritarashtra's assembly. After this, Dhritarashtra called Vidura for advice because Dhritarashtra was troubled. Now, this advice of Vidura to Dhritarashtra are very well-known verses in Canto 3, Chapter 1, as the Vidur Niti verses in politics. Now, Vidura's advice was for Dhritarashtra to throw Duryodhan out of the kingdom because Duryodhan is the source of misery for the kingdom, just as the doctor advises to remove the blind eye from the socket to remove the pain. When Vidura was speaking this advice to Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan walks into the same chamber and overhears this, and Duryodhan became furious on Vidura. The result was Vidura is thrown out of the kingdom by Duryodhan. So Vidura decides to go on to pilgrimage. So I'll bring up on screen 3.1.17 and we will read the translation and purport for this verse, and you all tell me, you all give me a unanimous answer. Dipanshu Prabhu, translation and paragraph number 1, 3.1.17. Faster pace.
By his piety, Vidura achieved the
Piety,
advantage.
not pity, piety.
Piety, Vidura achieved the advantages of pious Kauravas. After leaving Hastinapur, he took shelter of many places of pilgrimages, which are the Lord's lotus feet. With a desire to gain a higher order of pious life, he traveled to the holy places where thousands of transcendental forms of Lord are situated. Purport: Vidura was undoubtedly a highly elevated and pious soul. Otherwise, he would not have taken his birth in the Kaurva family. To have high parentage, to possess wealth, to the highly learned, and to have great personal beauty, and all due to past pious acts. But such pious possessions are not sufficient for obtaining the grace of Lord and being engaged in his transcendental loving service. Vidura considered himself less pious, and therefore he decided to travel to all the great places of pilgrimage in the world in order to achieve greater piety and advance nearer to the Lord. And that time Lord Krishna was personally present in the world, and Vidura could have at once approached him directly, but he did not do so because he was not sufficiently freed from sin. One cannot be 100% devoted to the Lord unless and until he is completely free from all effects of sin. Vidura was conscious that by the association of diplomatic Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, he had lost his piety and was therefore not fit to associate at once with the Lord. In
Okay.
Bhagavad
Does that directly answer the question that Vidura considered himself to be sinful, means his piety is lost. He was not sinful, but his piety was lost because of the association of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan. Does that answer the inquiry 3 that the same should have happened to Vidura, like Bhismadev?
Yes, sir.
So this Canto 3, Chapter 1 is massively heavy chapter. Few devotees virtually present and from this batch have attended classes on this Canto 3, Chapter 1 because there are many important teachings in this Canto 3, Chapter 1. Nitya?
Prabhu, one question. So, it was Lord Krishna's also desire that it work out this way, right? With Bhismadev being under the influence due to the contamination. So, God places his pure devotees also under this Maya at certain times for his, transcendental pastime. Yeah.
Yeah, you are correct. And there's an upcoming question on this same point, that Krishna uses his pure devotees to teach rest of the world. The analogy given is that mother chastises the daughter so as to teach the daughter-in-law. Same way, Krishna uses his pure devotees for various ways, various things, to teach rest of the world, ordinary people like me, of all those important teachings and difficult teachings. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. So it follows that the pure devotees who completely surrendered souls also will have phases when they are under Mahamaya and phases under Yogamaya by God's mercy.
Yeah, you are correct. Bhismadev is perfect example. That Bhismadev was asked directly by Krishna to play the role of Bhismadev at a Karma Kanda level. Even though he's Mahajan. This again is an upcoming question, but I briefly answered.
Thank you.
Question number 4. As we learn in Bhagavad Gita, every soul has free will to choose, and Krishna never interferes in that. But when it comes to pure devotee, does the Lord interfere to teach the rest of the world how to exchange transcendental bhava? So Krishna does not interfere with free will of anyone, whether one is ordinary jiva or a pure devotee. But I understand that pure devotee are not rebellious against the Lord. So this will come up in Canto 1 later part, that when the Yadu family fought among themselves and killed each other, they still knew that this was Lord's plan, and they still killed each other knowing that this is what the Lord wants them to do, so that they all can go back home. So even like the killing of each other, they still knew that this is a drama and they are just playing a part in a drama. For a pure devotee, Krishna takes direct care of his pure devotees, because pure devotee is executing the mission of the Lord. Krishna does not interfere with free will of anyone, but ordinary materialistic people are rebellious and they misuse their free will, while pure devotees never misuse their free will. Does that answer? Question number 5. Bhismadev's blood was contaminated because of Duryodhana's food. But Bhismadev knew who is Lord Krishna. Before eating, he must be offering to Narayan. So I briefly touch based on this point, and I will further explain that before Krishna appeared on earth some 5,000 years ago during the Mahabharata time, Krishna asked all his direct associates and pure devotees to appear on earth before him in various capacities so as to assist him in his mission. Krishna personally met Bhismadev in his previous life when Bhismadev was a Vasu, and Krishna asked Bhismadev that Krishna wants Bhismadev on earth for Krishna's mission. In this life of Bhismadev, roughly 5,000 years ago during Mahabharata time, when Bhismadev was Bhismadev. So Bhismadev lived a perfect life as a karma kandya. Therefore, his entire life, as is described in Mahabharata, is not in Srimad Bhagavatam, because Bhismadev's life is at the karma kanda level. It's perfect. If you want to live at a karma kanda level, then follow Bhismadev's life. Bhismadev's last few days, lying on the bed of arrows, is at the bhakti level. Therefore, only this last chapter from Bhismadev from Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata is placed in Srimad Bhagavatam. So just as we have canto nomenclature in Srimad Bhagavatam, The Mahabharata nomenclature is Parva. So Bhismadev lived a life of Karmakanda as a service to Krishna to show how to live a life of Karmakanda by following scriptures. Now, Karmakanda is not bhakti. Karmakanda may have a small portion of bhakti. Bhismadev's last days lying on the bed of arrows is at the bhakti level with his beautiful prayers that we're going to start reciting today. Therefore, these Bhismadev prayers are included here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9. Plus, the food prepared by karmi people is not to be offered to the Lord. So, this is one of the important learnings from Bhismadev's life for ordinary people like me, that we have to be very, very careful in what food we consume. We discussed the same point in question number 3 above, that how Vidura also lost his piety and Bhishmadev also had his entire blood contaminated because of the food given by Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, who are pure karmi, pure materialistic people. Plus, Krishna wanted the so very powerful Bhishmadev to be on the side of adharmi Duryodhana to show to the world that no matter how powerful you are, if you are against Krishna and against Dharma, you will not win. So for this, inquiries number 3 and number 5 here, both Bhishmadev and Vidura are not just pure devotees, rather both are Mahajans. There are only 12 Mahajans in the entire creation, and both Bhishmadev and Vidura, consuming food from adharmi Duryodhana, both got contaminated. Therefore, we have to be very, very cautious. So, Karmakanda life, but Bhishmadev is living that Karmakanda life even though he's a pure devotee. So, in the Karmakanda life, he will live like a Karmakandiya. Karmakandiya don't offer anything to Narayan. Does that answer this inquiry? Very important inquiry.
Yes, Prabhu. Very well.
Question number 6. What made Krishna gift Gopas and Gopis with his love and no suffering, while he allowed other pure devotees like Kunti Maharani and Pandavas to suffer? So Gopas and Gopis also went through the suffering, the unbearable suffering of separation from Krishna. This devotion in separation is very, very advanced and very difficult. This devotion in separation is taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is because of the unmatched high level of devotion of the Gopas and Gopis is why they got Krishna's love. Many pure devotees glorify Gopis, including Bhishmadev in his last prayers also glorifies Gopis, because by glorifying pure devotees like Gopis and Gopas, Krishna is pleased and you get the mercy of Krishna that way. We'll discuss this in an upcoming verse from Bhishmadev's prayers. So other pure devotees such as Kunti Maharani and Pandavas also have the love of Krishna. Kunti Maharani and Pandavas are in the mood of awe and reverence. So their reciprocation will be different. Still, the degree of Gopis and Gopas is the highest because they are in the mood of love. Does that answer the inquiry? Question number 7. As unflinching servitor, did Bhishmadev suffer what God gave him? So Bhishmadev's suffering were in direct service to Krishna. We'll discuss this in his prayers. Question number 8. Do we have to, at bhakti level, remember Krishna and at karma level, do material duty? Or do pure devotees remain in bhakti while doing karma? So everybody grab Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit Index. I will ask you to look up. The answer is that whether pure devotees or upcoming devotees all have to live in this world according to a Bhagavad Gita verse. From your Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit Index, I want all of you to please look up Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Everybody, please look up Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu.
Prabhu 8.7.
Okay, very good. Did everybody find?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, very good. So even though 8.7 is not a key memorization verse, definitely a very important verse to memorize because we have to live this our life according to 8.7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu maam anusmaram yuddhacha mai arpita mano buddhir maam evashyasi asamsaya. That we have to remember Krishna before doing activity, while doing activity, so that our mind and intelligence get offered to Krishna. Does that answer the inquiry?
Prabhuji,
Yes,
remember
Prabhu.
Krishna while doing the activity and before doing the activity. Before doing the activity and while doing the activity.
Correct.
Maybe after doing the activity also.
Yeah, you are correct. After the activity also, 24 hours. Yes. Question number 9. Why did Sri Krishna, who stood before him, manifest a four-handed form, meaning stood before Bhismadev in his four-handed form, when we traditionally worship the Lord in his two-handed form? So Bhismadev and all devotees in the mood of awe and reverence focus and worship on the four-handed Narayan form. Bhismadev focused on the Parth-Sarthi form of Krishna. So those in the mood of love focus on Krishna's two-handed Shyamsundar form, while those who are in awe and reverence, they will focus on the four-handed form of Krishna. So you judge whether you are in the mood of awe and reverence or in the mood of love when you are worshipping Gopinath. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, thank you.
Just few minutes before our class, I did get another inquiry. So I haven't put it on the slide, but I will answer the inquiry. So I will read and answer the inquiry. The inquiry is, if everything is part of Krishna's divine plan, was Draupadi's suffering also part of Krishna's divine plan? If so, was it right to allow it? So we discussed that Krishna uses his pure devotees to teach rest of the world, just as mother chastises the daughter to teach the daughter-in-law. So understand that Mahabharata examples or the Srimad Bhagavatam examples are extreme circumstances so that they get engraved in us. Visualize that Mahabharata incidences have happened more than 5,000 years ago, but they are so extreme that they are very fresh in everyone's memory, as if it has happened just yesterday. So yes, it is Krishna's plan. He has used his pure devotees like Draupadi, Pandavas, Bhismadev to teach rest of the world so many important teachings. And visualize that if any one of these things happen to any one of us, example, Draupadi getting disrobed, we all will run away. What is this nonsense? What is this Krishna consciousness? We all will run away. But Pandavas, pure devotees, Bhishmadev, they never ran away. They actually increased their devotion to Krishna and we'll read in Canto 1 that all the Pandavas attained Goloku Vrindavan in the same body where they were. Does that answer that additional inquiry? Striking points. You have 3 slides. This is slide number 1. Take a snapshot. Slide number 2. And slide number 3. Any questions, comments, realizations before we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9?
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, Bhishmadev in his Karm Kandiya life and other characters like Jay Vijay when they come as demons, how do they act forgetting their original position?
They don't forget their original position. So Jay Vijay, when they first appeared as
Hiranyakashipu
Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha fought at great length with Lord Varahadev. So just in batch 1 and 2, we had this Varahadev pastime presentation by Preeti, for rest of the devotees. So she asked the same question that Jai Vijay had the option to live 3 lives as demons or 7 lives as devotees, and they choose to live 3 lives as demons. Why would they choose that? The answer is 2 answers. First, Jai Vijay are direct servitors. So they said to the Lord that, Lord, we will choose a shorter option, meaning 3 lives, so that we can come back to you quickly because we cannot live without you. And more important reason is they wanted to serve the Lord and satisfy the Lord's fighting rasa. So Lord was pleased. This is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapters 13 to 19, the Varahadev pastime where Hiranyaksha has the fighting with Varahadev. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur goes on to glorify Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, that even though they were demons, they lived a glorious life. They did not suffer like other demons. Why? Because they were here for service to Krishna. Just as Bhismadev is here for service to Krishna. We'll discuss this in this Canto 1, Chapter 9. So they have not forgotten anything. They are just playing a particular role for service to Krishna. Abhishek Prabhu?
So in this role, they act like the character requires.
They act, exactly. They are just acting. And this word acting, Abhishek Prabhu, you use it perfectly. This word acting will come up in Canto 1 later part, where the Yadu family fight among themselves and kill each other. And they actually knew before the fighting, they knew that this is Krishna's plan and they are just actors in this episode. And they just acted what Krishna wanted them to act for. Abhishek Prabhu?
I could not catch whose example are you citing?
Yadu family.
Okay, Yadu family.
The entire Yadu family, they fought among themselves and killed each other. It's upcoming in Canto 1 discussion, later chapters.
And those people who may be part of this Leela, who suffer, it is either their karma or Lord's plan. Like they because
suffer.
these
They don't suffer. They don't have karma. They are eternal associates of Krishna. They don't have karma. They are just playing a part in a drama.
no, I mean probably those people on which these demons wreak havoc. Like when they are acting as demons, they will torture.
Yeah, that part I understand. Yeah, you are correct that way. All right. Okay, we again spend a lot of time on inquiries. Thank you again for all your super excellent inquiries. Your inquiries continue to be your mercy on me that I had to research all these points and speak Krishna Katha on these points. So let's discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, from verse 29 onwards. This is part 5, 29 to 43. Title is Bhismadev's Final Moments and Prayers. So just a recap as to where we are. Suta Goswami is narrating activities of birth and activities of Parikshit Maharaj, that how Lord protected Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. When discussion among devotees, automatically the Lord is remembered. Now he is discussing Bhismadev lying on the bed of arrows. Krishna and Pandavas and others also come. Bhismadev greeted everyone, even when Bhismadev is in lot of difficulty. Bhismadev knows how to respect everyone according to time, place, and circumstances. Bhishma considers the suffering of the Pandavas because of time. Time is an energy of Krishna and the will of Krishna. Bhishmadev is expressing love and affection to the Pandavas. Bhishmadev's desire is fulfilled that Yudhishthir is on the throne. Therefore, Bhishmadev is pleased. Now, Bhishmadev's desire is to leave the body while having the darshan of Krishna. Now, Bhishmadev is ready to leave his body. Yudhishthir asked Bhishmadev about activities, about different religious principles, and Bhishmadev gave a religious talk. Bhishmadev gave the religious talk specially on Varnashram. All Varnas are to be engaged in service of the Lord according to the qualities. For some, renunciation is easy. For those for whom renunciation is easy, they enter sannyas. For others, renunciation is difficult. So sadhaka wants to enjoy, but also enter the path of renunciation. Then such so-called path of renunciation will become a problem. Therefore, without knowing the personal situation, choosing a renunciation path is not the best. Many think that renunciation is better than grahastha. This is not correct. Krishna says in 3.6 that such a renunciate is a pretender. People do not understand and they make this mistake of becoming a renunciate. So Bhismadev is in deep meditation of Krishna. Bhismadev wants the Lord to await until his last breath, because Bhismadev says, I want to leave while glancing at your beautiful form. So what you have on screen, the Parth Sarthi form of Krishna, Krishna being the charioteer of Arjuna, is the form that Bhishmadev is praying, offering all his prayers, and this is the form that Bhishmadev is remembering while leaving his body. Many of you have heard that this image that we have on the screen, Krishna riding the chariot of Arjuna, is among my favorite images, and the other image will come up in the Bhishmadev prayer of Krishna running with a chariot wheel to Bhishmadev is also among my favorite images from this. So while glancing this beautiful form of the Parth-Sati form of Krishna, this way Bhishmadev is able to fix his mind on Krishna. Now this is not arbitrarily done. Bhishmadev has been glorifying Krishna throughout his life. Thus Bhishmadev is able to think of Krishna at the time of death. One's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thought at the moment of death. Therefore, this life creates one's next life. I'll repeat this very important statement. One's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. Hence, this life creates one's next life. So all these great sages came to hear when Bhishmadev is about to leave his body. So neither Bhishmadev be taken as cheap, neither Bhishmadev instructions are cheap. The way Bhishmadev left his body, looking at the beautiful form of Parth-Sati Krishna, our dear Srila Prabhupada also left his body identically, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam up to the very last moment of his breath. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14 is what Prabhupada has translated up to the very last moment of his breath. So,
Prabhuji, which verse did you talk about?
For Srila Prabhupada?
Yes, Prabhuji, the last one
Yeah.
which he was reciting.
Yeah, Canto 10, Chapter 14. It's in that chapter, I think it's the second last or the third last verse, where Prabhupada is saying, I am offering obeisances again and again. That's what the verse is. It's almost the last or the second last or the third last verse in Canto 10, Chapter 14. I'm offering obeisances to you again and again.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So let's read verse number 29 translation. Abhishek Prabhu, Canto 1, Chapter 9, verse 29 translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 1.9.29. While Bhishmadev was describing occupational duties, the sun's course ran into the northern hemisphere. This period is desired by mystics who die at their will.
So yogis who are mystics who want to leave the body at a particular time when sun enters the northern hemisphere. So this is described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 verses 24, 25, 26, maybe 27 also, about the yogis wanting to leave at a particular time so that they do not come back to earth. So for a devotee, these times to leave the body are not very important. In that Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, 24 to 27 verse, Krishna goes on to say the same point, that for a devotee, these times do not matter. These signs of inauspicious and auspicious are not relevant for a devotee because Krishna takes care of a devotee. Abhishek Prabhu, 29 purport, faster pace.
Purport. The perfect yogis or mystics can leave the material body at their own sweet will at a suitable time and go to a suitable planet desired by them. In the Bhagavad Gita 8.24, it is said that the self-realized souls who have exactly identified themselves with the interest of the Supreme Lord can generally leave the material body during the time of the fire god's effulgence and when the sun is in the northern horizon, and thus achieve the transcendental sky. In the Vedas, these times are considered auspicious for quitting the body, and they are taken advantage of by the expert mystics who have perfected the system. Perfection of yoga means attainment of such super mental states as to be able to leave the material body as desired. Yogis can also reach any planet within no time without a material vehicle. The yogis can reach the highest planetary system within a very short time, and this is impossible for materialists. Even attempting to reach the highest planet will take millions of years at a speed of millions of miles per hour. This is the different science, and Bhismadev knew well how to utilize it. He was just waiting for the suitable moment to quit his material body, and the golden opportunity arrived when he was instructing his noble grandson, the Pandavas. He thus prepared himself to quit his body before the exalted Lord Shri Krishna, the pious Pandavas, and the great sages headed by Bhagwan, Vyasa, etc., all great souls. Thank you.
All right, so these times don't matter. Actually, what happened for Bhishmadev, that the time changed so as to let Bhishmadev leave the body, and the time became auspicious because Krishna was taking care of his pure devotee. All right, let's read verse number 30. In the purport of 29 that we read, that all those yogis try to leave at a particular time so as to attain the higher planets. But that's a different science. We cannot travel even at great speed to reach other planets. That is not possible. We have to simply follow this Krishna consciousness. Then we will be able to reach the higher planets without the need for any special vehicle. Everybody on the same page?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ji, Prabhuji.
I have an image on the screen to explain this point. Somebody wants to read and describe what it is? So this is a moon planet, and this astronaut with this astronaut dress, he's having all this mask and everything, and he's asking this devotee, how did you get here? And this is a yogi, a devotee. He's not having any of these masks or anything. He's just a book distributor. He has a book in his hand and he's saying, I have a book for you, Easy Journey to Other Planet. It is all explained in here. take a snapshot. Is that a spectacular explanation of one picture form?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Pragya will read 30 translation.
जी प्रभु जी. Verse, verse 30. Thereupon that man who spoke on different subjects with thousands of meanings and who fought on thousands of battlefields and protected thousands of men stopped speaking and being completely freed from all bondage withdrew his mind from everything else and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who stood before him four-handed, dressed in yellow garments that glittered and shined. Hare Krishna.
So the visual that we have in front of you, this visual of Parsati form of Krishna, is that beautiful scene is what Bhismadev is watching. So the process to leave the body, thinking of Krishna, is very beautifully described in this chapter. And as I also explained, that Srila Prabhupada also left his body exactly in this way. Pragya, faster pace, read purport 30, paragraph number 1.
जी प्रभु जी. Purport. In the momentous hour of leaving his material body, Bhishmadev set the glorious example concerning the important function of the human form of life. The subject matter which attracts the dying man becomes the beginning of his next life. Therefore, if one is absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is sure to go back to Godhead without any doubt. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8.5 to 15.
Right, so we have discussed in 8.5, Antakale Chamamyam, Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. That Smaran Muktva Kalevaram, this is exactly what Bhishmadev is showing by his example. And this is exactly what Srila Prabhupada showed to all of us by his example as well. Pragya, now read the last paragraph, 30, where it says Sri Bhishmadev attained the perfection.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Shri Bhishmadev attained the perfection of quitting his body at will and was fortunate enough to have Lord Krishna, the object of his attention, personally present at the time of death. He therefore fixed his open eyes upon him. He wanted to see Shri Krishna for a long time out of his spontaneous love for him. Because he was a pure devotee, he had very little to do with the detailed performance of yogic principles. Simple bhakti yoga is enough to bring about perfection. Therefore, the ardent desire of Bhishmadeva was to see the person of Lord Krishna, the most lovable object, and by the grace of the Lord, Sri Bhishmadev had this opportunity at the last stage of his breathing. Hare Krishna.
Questions, comments, realizations? Nitya, 31 translation.
Yes, Prabhu. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Sri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wound. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendently to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body.
So 31 is straightforward, that he all his activities of his senses stopped and he simply focused on the Parsati form of Krishna. So from 32 onwards, Bhishmadev Stuti starts, means the Bhishmadev starts offering prayers. And each of this prayer, Bhishmadev is asking for rati. Rati means attachment. You can also make note of some key Sanskrit words to remember for your meditation. So as we discuss, you will realize. So from my Srimad Bhagavatam study, the Bhakti Vaibhav course, I will also play my Siksha Guru, His Grace Padmanaya Prabhu, reciting these very, very beautiful prayers of Bhismadev. These Bhismadev prayers are among my personal favorite prayers. So all of you should have, I will anyway bring up on screen. Let me bring up on screen. And I will recite, not I will, Padmanaya Prabhu's recitation, I will play, and you will realize the beauty of these prayers. So let's first hear the Sanskrit of 32 onwards. For each one I will play, and then we will read the translations. So follow along the Sanskrit from the screen that we have for each verse. So 32.
To start offering his prayers to Krishna. That is called Bhisma Stuti. Sri Bhisma Vaja Iti Matirupa Kalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Sattvato Pungave Vibhumni Shashukhamupagate Kvachit Vihartum Prakrutimupeyoshi Jat Bhava Pravaha.
Vimal Prabhu, translation.
Bhishmadev said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasures by descending on the material world. Although from him only the material world is created."
So Bhishmadev prays for firmness of mind on Krishna, that let me invest my thinking, willing, feeling on Krishna. Krishna has come. So how can Bhishmadev leave without giving a gift? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Bhishmadev is saying that I am leaving the body. My Lord has come. What can I give him? Therefore, Bhishmadev offers his mind to Krishna by fixing his mind on Krishna. Bhishmadev was completely free from sense desire. Mind was completely purified. When mind and senses are engaged in relishing material rasas, unless we are favored by Krishna, sense enjoyment will not subside. Unless Krishna glances on you, this Krishna glance means when you follow Krishna's instructions, that is Krishna's glance. So mind is best to offer to Krishna because we identify ourselves with the mind. Therefore, Bhishmadev wants to gift the mind to Krishna. He's lying on the bed of arrows. He couldn't really reciprocate. Therefore, he is offering the mind. Just as Bhishmadev, lying on the bed of arrows, could not welcome anyone, but he welcomed everyone by speaking sweet words because he knows how to welcome everyone according to time, place, and circumstances. Similarly, Krishna has come, so I have to gift him something. But I am lying on the bed of arrows. Therefore, he offers his purified mind. So normally, gifting means you desire something in return. But Bhishmadev says here in verse number 32, I don't want anything back. Therefore, he uses this word vitreshna. So if you read the translation, the word vitreshnena, freed from all sense desires. So he's just gifting his mind back to Krishna and is not expecting anything in return. Everybody on the same page? Was that a beautiful recitation?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, very much.
Yes, please.
Okay. Wait till you read, listen the next recitation. All these are spectacular. Vimal Prabhu, faster pace, purport please, 32.
So Bhishmadev was the statement and head of the Kaurava dynasty, a great general and the leader of Kshatriyas. His mind was thrown over so many subjects, and his thinking, feeling, and willing were engaged in different matters. Now, in order to achieve pure devotion service, he wanted to invest all powers of thinking, feeling, and willing entirely in the Supreme Being, Lord Krishna. He is described herein as the leader of the devotees and all powerful. Although Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, he himself descended on earth to bestow upon his pure devotees the boon of devotional service. He descends sometimes as Lord Krishna, as he is, and sometimes as Lord Chaitanya. Both are leaders of the pure devotees. Pure devotees of the Lord have no desire other than the service of Lord, and therefore they are called Satvata. Satvata. The Lord is the chief among such Sattvatas. Bhishmadev, therefore, had no other desires unless one is purified from all sorts of material desires. The Lord does not become one leader's desires cannot be whipped out, but they have only to be purified. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord Himself that He gives His instructions from within the heart of a pure devotee who is constantly engaged in the service of Lord. Such instructions is given not for any material purpose, but only for going back home, by to back to Godhead, back to Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 10.10. For the ordinary man who wants to lord it over material nature, the Lord not only sanctions and becomes a witness of activities, but he never gives the non-devotees instructions for going back to Godhead. That is different in dealing by the Lord with different living beings, both the devotee and the non-devotees. He is leader of all living beings as the king of the state, rulers both prisoners and the free citizens. But he's dealing with different in terms of devotees and non-devotees. Non-devotees never care to take any instructions from the Lord, and therefore the Lord silent in their case, although he witnessed all their activities and award them the necessary results, good or bad. The devotees are above the material goodness and badness. They are progress on the path of transcendence, and therefore they have no desire for anything material. The devotees also know Shri Krishna as the original Narayana because Lord Krishna, by his plenary portions, appears as the Karunadakshari Vishnu, the original source of all material creations. The Lord also desired the association of his pure devotees, and for them only the Lord descends to the earth and lives and livens them. The Lord appears out of his own will. He is not forced by the conditions of material nature. He is therefore described here as the Vibhav or the Almighty, for he is never conditioned by the law of material nature. Hare Krishna.
So from verse number 32 purport, that unless one is purified from material desires, Lord does not become one's leader. Now, desires cannot be wiped out. Desires just have to be purified. When you have no material hankering, then Krishna will inspire from within for going back to Godhead. Meaning, at that time, Krishna will give Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam from Bhagavad Gita 10.10. So Krishna does not give instruction to non-devotee for going back to Godhead. So this is not a fault of Krishna. Rather, Krishna says, you don't want me, then why should I give you instructions? Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations? Very important purport about how we have to purify our mind. Priyanka?
Prabhuji, this concept of thinking, feeling, and willing, is that what we are terming as mind? Because that comes up, like the same terminology of thinking, feeling, and willing comes up in multiple chapters. It came in 5th chapter, 6th chapter also.
Yeah, this is the function of the mind. If you recall our discussion from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, where we have discussed a lot about mind. And for 2.64, if you recall, we had populated a chart also, not 64, 2.62. We had populated an 8-step chart. The first 3 steps is thinking, feeling, willing. These are the functions or the activities of the mind. And I cannot stop the mind. There is no off switch. Therefore, I have to divert my thinking, feeling, and willing towards Krishna. Priyanka?
Yes, Prabhuji, that is helpful. Hare Krishna.
All right. 33 verse is very beautiful. You can use this. I mean, all players are beautiful. You will have this word Vijay Sakhe. Vijay Sakhe Rati Rastume. You can use this for your memorization or remembrance. So let me play 33 translation. Follow the 33 Sanskrit from the screen and you will soon realize the beauty of this verse.
To the next. Now, in verse number 33, he is going to give a description of Krishna's body and he is praying for Rati, attachment. What is he saying? Tribhuvana kamanam tamalabaranam ravikara gauravarambaram dadhane Bapuala kakula pritananavijam Vijaya sakhera tirastu mena bhatya Vijaya sakhera tirastu me. Let my mind be fixed unto Vijaya sakhe.
Malti, translation.
Hare Krishna, text 33. Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the tamal tree. His body attracts everyone in the three planetary system, upper, middle, and lower. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face, covered with painting of sandalwood bulb, be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results.
Right, so Vijay Sakhe Rati Rastume. This is what he is visualizing, this image. Krishna, the chariot driver of Arjuna's chariot. That's what he's saying. Vijay Sakhe Rati Rastume. So Vijay Sakhe means unto the friend of Arjuna. So Bhismadev is calling Arjuna as Vijay because he is always victorious. And Sakhe means friend. So very beautiful word. Vijay Sakhe Rati Rastume. Is that a beautiful recitation by His Grace Padmanaya Prabhu of this verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Blissful.
Yes,
Bliss.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Arjuna is described here as the conqueror, and Krishna is described as Arjuna's intimate friend. When Krishna is addressed along with his devotees, Krishna is very pleased. Therefore, Bhismadev is teaching us this, how to please Krishna by glorifying his devotees or by associating Krishna and his pure devotees together. All these prayers, Bhishmadev has the similar theme, where he will also glorify gopis and he'll keep asking for Rati. So Bhishmadev is thinking of Krishna's beauty on the battlefield. So this image that we have on front of on our screen, that Krishna riding the chariot of Arjuna as a chariot driver. Krishna driving this chariot was in intense situation to give protection to Arjuna. This is the beauty of Krishna. And Bhishmadev is remembering and saying, let my mind be fixed on this Parthasarthi form of Krishna. So relation with Krishna in any of the rasas is identical. And Bhishmadev is the concrete example of this. We'll soon read in the purport. Krishna enjoyed Bhishmadev shooting arrows at Krishna. So Bhishmadev was not shooting arrow to Krishna with the intent to kill Krishna. No. Srila Prabhupada explains that Bhishmadev is shooting arrow to Krishna is like someone offering flowers to a loved one. Krishna enjoyed Bhishmadev shooting arrows at Krishna exactly how one enjoys the biting of a conjugal lover. Bhishmadev's throwing of sharp arrows at the transcendental body of the Lord is as good as worship of another devotee who offers soft roses at the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord enjoyed the wounds created by his great devotee Bhishmadev. And because Bhishmadev is a devotee in the chivalrous relation, he fixes his mind on Krishna in that wounded Parthasarthi form of Krishna. Krishna was taking pleasure when his devotee Bhishmadev was piercing him with arrows. Actually, Krishna was enjoying. Yes, Krishna was taking pleasure. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given this example that when a lover kisses the opposite lover, sometimes while kissing, even when there is blood coming out, still it is pleasing. The lover does not complain. Similarly, Krishna is relishing Bhishmadev shooting arrows at Krishna. So Bhishmadev appreciates Krishna's attitude to protect his devotee Arjuna in all circumstances. Malti, read 33 purport faster pace.
Purport. When Sri Krishna, by his own eternal pleasure, appear on earth, he does so by the agency of his eternal potency. The attractive feature of his transcendental body are desired in all three worlds, namely the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Nowhere in the universe are there such beautiful bodily features as those of Lord Krishna. Therefore, his transcendental body has nothing to do with anything material created. Arjuna is described here as a conqueror, and Krishna is described as his intimate friend Bhismadev. On his bed of arrow after the battle of Kurukshetra is remembering the particular dress of Lord Krishna, which he puts on as the driver of Krishna's chariot. While fighting was going on between Arjuna and Bhisma, Bhisma's attraction was drawn by the glittering dress of Krishna, and indirectly he admired his so-called enemy Arjuna's for possessing the Lord as his friend. Arjuna was always conqueror because the Lord was his friend. Bhismadev taken his opportunity to address the Lord as Vijaya Sakhe, friends of Arjuna, because the Lord is pleased when he is dressed conjointly with his devotees, who are related to his different transcendental humor. While Krishna was charioteer of Arjuna, sun rays glittered on the dress of Lord, and the beautiful hue created by the reflection of such rays was never forgotten by Bhismadeva. As a great fighter, he was relishing the relation of Krishna in the chivalrous humor, transcendental relation with the Lord in any one of the different rasas, in relishable by the respective devotees in highest ecstasy. Less intelligent humans who wants to make a show of being transcendentally related with the Lord artificially jump at once to the relation of conjugal love, intimating themselves of Brajdhama. Such a cheap relation with the Lord exhibits only the base mentality of the Wanderer, because one who has a relish conjugal humor with the Lord cannot be attached with the worldly conjugal rasa, which is condemned even by the mundane ethics. The eternal relation of the particular soul with the Lord is evolved. A genius relation of living beings with the Supreme Lord can take any form out of the five principal rasas, and it does not make any difference in transcendental degree to the genuine devotees. Bhismadeva is the concrete example of this, and it should be a carefully observed how the great general is transcendentally related with the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So mundane people try to imitate the themselves of Raja, but one who has seen and experienced conjugal relationship with the Lord cannot have any attraction of the material world. When one is attracted to the pure relations of themselves of Raja and Krishna, then he will not have any attraction to the material world. Questions, comments, realizations? Pragya, you had a question?
Prabhuji, I was just asking this Rati. Rati is Kamdev's wife, na? Here, when we are talking about Vijaya Sakhi,
Yeah, so Sanskrit has many
Rati
meanings.
Rastu, it's not in that context.
No, Rati means attraction. If you read the word for word translation, this is attraction, right? So you cannot take one meaning of a word. Sanskrit or any word can have multiple meanings. Rati here is attraction, attachment.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So we won't cover any more verses for today. I request all of you that next class we will finish this Canto 1, Chapter 9. Next class being on 23rd of February. So 2nd of March, you all will be doing your presentations. So I have on screen, and you all have a link for this for the presentations. So you can please, before next class, I request the first batch of devotees, meaning your first name starting from A up to K, You should be the first presenters because this is an odd unit number. Anybody else wants to be as the second presenter even for the same same unit or same part? You are welcome to be the second presenter also. So before next week's class, I request all of you to please send me your names of what presentations you are going to do. Would you all like to listen 33 Sanskrit translation again from His Grace Padmanaya Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, remember Vijay Sakhe Rati Rastume and visualize this image and tell me if you get goosebumps hearing to this and have the same image engraved in your consciousness. Let's just listen.
To the next. Now, in the next, in verse number 33, he is going to give a description of Krishna's body and he is praying for Rati detachment. What is he saying? Tribhuvana kamanam tamalabaranam ravikara gauravarambaram dadhane Bapuralaka kulabritananavijam Vijaya Sakherati mena Bhatya. Vijaya Sakherati me. Let my mind be fixed unto Vijaya Sakhe.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.